Hello again.
Okay. Hi, Varsha. Hi,
Hi.
hi. How are you?
I'm good, Dee. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much. So, uh, let's wait for two, three more people to join in.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
So, Varsha, how's the prep for today's live? I hope it is good.
Oh, yeah. The only thing is, this is like my second time or something coming live. So there was a little bit of tension before that. But then
Okay.
now, since I can see you, I'm kind of glad. I was worried if I will have
It's okay.
internet
Don't be
issues.
nervous.
Oh, it's
Yes,
not
yes.
about
Don't be
nervousness. It's more
nervous.
like
Okay.
if I will have any internet difficulties and all those kind of thoughts. You know, right,
Oh,
how we are.
okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. I know, I know. It's okay. Chalo. Okay, so let's start. So, hello everyone, and welcome to our live session with Varsha Manoj. Her channel name is Hyperpsych. You can find her on YouTube and Instagram. Her YouTube handle is by her name, Varsha Manoj, and her Instagram ID is Hyperpsych. So, I would like to welcome Ms. Varsha Manoj, and she has done MSc in psychology, and she is ecology certified NLP practitioner with diploma in nutrition and health education. So, welcome Varsha. Thank you so much for coming live with me and giving us an insight on what is NLP and how it impacts our life.
Thank you so much, Dee. That was an amazing intro. Like, thank you so much for that. So,
So, I would like to tell something more about you. So, she works as a freelance counselor, she's a motivational trainer, and she is soft skill trainer for college students. That's really very good and great freelancing activity she does. And she's currently building a YouTube channel which deals with understanding basic psychology in very fun way. And let me tell you, Varsha, I've seen your videos and I've seen your reels, your work on YouTube, everything is just amazing.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Just keep on going and you will reach success in no time.
Thank you, Dee. And just like, I'm really glad that you gave me this opportunity because I wouldn't have come live so fast by myself because I'm still figuring it out. And I'm really like extremely glad for this opportunity. And you have also asked me to like speak on a topic that I love the most, that is neuro linguistic programming. So
Yes, yes.
now
So
talking.
this is one topic which I have seen in people's bio, but I never knew what it is. So I was very curious and was finding a person who could actually tell me and wanted to let people know what is actually neuro linguistic programming. I think it is very new concept,
Exactly.
and is it?
Yes, it came around in 1970s. So
Yes. So I guess not much people know about it and what kind of impact it can have on your life and how you can achieve success with by following this practice. We are going to know in this live session, right, Varsha?
exactly, I'll do my best because it's something that I love and I love sharing whatever I know.
Yes.
So now talking
Okay,
about
so let me tell my audience that this particular live session will be in English because Varsha is from Kerala and she has a bit of problem in speaking Hindi. So that is not an issue, Varsha. We can have it in English. But I would like to tell people that if it will be possible for me to convert it in like have subtitles or do it in Hindi, I will definitely do it for you guys. So
Sure.
Varsha, come on, let's start with the our live session. Please, put some light on what is exactly neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay, so that is the main question right now, because the moment people see neuro-linguistic programming, they immediately think it is some kind of computer-related field. Because the programming, the word
Yes.
programming itself makes people confused. They're like, why is a person who is a counselor talking about computer-related stuff? So anyone who's not aware of counseling or psychology, they'll naturally think like that. So now putting a light into this, that is neuro-linguistic programming, like divide it into the three words. Neuro means a mind, linguistic is a language, and programming is basically how we program our mind using our language. Okay, so that is in very simple way how you mentioned what neuro-linguistic programming is. If you want to make it even more simpler, you could say that basically programming your own mind. Okay, so now you might be thinking like, how is that possible? How can you program your own mind? Because whenever we talk, we always say that mind is something we cannot control, thoughts are something that we cannot control. But what if I tell you that we can actually control what we think? This is what neuro-linguistic programming does. Okay, now it's a very good example. This is an example that I came across while I was studying for the course. So the example is like, okay, now imagine that you are at a beach. Okay, you might have visited a beach sometime in your life, right? So you're at the beach and you're using your non-dominant hand. Now, for those who are not very aware of, who are not very comfortable with the language, let me explain it a bit. Non-dominant hand means the hand that you don't use much. So since I'm a lefty, it's my right hand. So now imagine taking your non-dominant hand and writing the alphabet A on the sand. Okay, you can actually imagine it, right? You can actually imagine the whole scene.
Yes.
You can actually imagine the feeling of the sand in your elbow. But have you done it in your life? Have you actually taken your elbow and written A on the sand?
No, never. I've never done it.
Mostly we don't do it. It's not a very common activity that we do, right? Even if we do, right, we use our fingers and it will usually be with our dominant hand. But then since I told you this example, you could easily feel the whole thing. You're actually at the beach, you're
Yes.
experiencing the sand, you can feel this. And
I was actually imagining whatever you were saying.
yeah, and you even got the feel, like you'll even have the feeling of the sand in
Yes.
your elbow. So when I heard this example, I was like extremely curious, because this wasn't something that I have done. But then the moment I came across this, I could visualize the whole thing. So now, when this particular example, if you guys could actually imagine the situation, you might have understood the power of your mind and how you can manipulate it. Because I was giving you the command and you were immediately able to think about it. You didn't think about anything else. You are purely listening to what I was saying. And that is how. So neuro-linguistic programming is something that first we use it for understanding ourselves, like how we can improve better. Okay. And then once you really become really good, this is something that is that will help you to like help others too. So as counselors, like since we are counselors, it is something that is like an extra tool that we have that can help us to help the other person.
Okay.
So
I can imagine the whole scenario.
So the thing is,
it is basically a concept, one kind of a skill which we can develop to help other people find their own way and help them guide themselves, right?
Exactly. Guide themselves as well as ourselves. The biggest problem right now is that NLP doesn't have many scientific evidences, because naturally when you ask the question, where is your mind? We cannot answer it, right? We cannot like take our brain, cut it into half, and then you'll be like, okay, there is the mind. No, it is just different neurons over there, and the function of all those neurons is what is your mind. So that is why you don't have scientific evidence right now, but then it is a very, very effective tool when it comes to helping yourself develop more.
Oh, okay. So that is quite deep, you should be insightful for psychology, that then only you can understand such deep things from NLP, right?
I wouldn't say like a person who isn't that a graduate in psychology can also practice NLP. Only thing is they have to know. I mean, they have to take the time for themselves. You know, we are usually the kind of people we wake up and immediately we start running. We start running. We start working. We are not even for a second we're thinking and thinking about what do I want? What is the purpose of this? No. But the moment the daily schedule is over, then you have this existential crisis. What is the purpose of my life? That is when you actually think about what you want to do. So you need not have a groundwork in psychology, but then if you want to become an NLP practitioner, like someone who helps people, then definitely you will have to go through BSc, MSc psychology.
And I guess, to develop this kind of skill or to become a NLP practitioner with theoretical knowledge, you should have experience, a lot of experience, in fact, right?
Yeah.
Because this kind of skill set comes with a lot of experience, and by solving a lot of cases, by handling a lot of cases, and helping people solve their problems by themselves is a skill which counselors need to adopt over the time, and I guess NLP is going to help a lot, right?
Yes, it will help not only just counselors, like as I told you earlier, it is something that every person can adopt. Only thing is you have to understand yourself better. You should have the initiative to understand yourself. A lot of people don't do that. Just take the initiative to understand yourself, and then this is the best tool that can help you succeed.
Okay. So Varsha, I would like to know how NLP has impacted your life or has brought a change in your life.
Okay, that is a really good question. First of all, let me tell you, I got into this field a year ago. Like I understood what NLP was just a year ago. I completed my course around June 2020. And since then, I have been like using different methods to help myself. For example, I personally, if I'm taking an example of myself, I personally always, I was always a person who suffers from inferiority complex, like, oh my God, what will people think? What will happen? And those kind of things. But now since I'm knowing about NLP, it is helping me a lot because I'm making my own, since I got control over my own thoughts, I'm able to like change it. Like, why am I thinking like that? Why do I feel this? And then I'm able to like go back, trace back to when it started and then work over there and then come back. Usually any particular behavior that we have has a particular starting point, right? Some kind of thing that triggered, because no kid is born with inferiority complex or fear of stage 4 fear or anything like that. At some point in your life, something must have happened that triggered this, and since then you are going through this. So when I came across NLP and when I came across these different methods used in NLP, what happened was I started focusing on myself more, and then there is this. Okay, let me tell you this one. Let me continue this. So what I did was I started tracing back. Okay. So I started tracing back and I started thinking about the moment when I started suffering inferiority complex, and then I could remember a lot of school incidences. Okay, the school incidences where I did something and the other classmates were like, what were you? Ha ha ha, and they're laughing. And that is something that happened in the childhood, but then till date, it was affecting me. It was keeping on affecting me. And then what happened was there is this method that is called visual swish or auditory swish. This is an NLP method. Once you get into the field, you'll understand better, but then I'll give you an example. Like visual swish or auditory swish is that you go back, you trace yourself back, and then you get into that moment when you first experienced it. Okay. You get into that moment and you will remember, like whatever you remember, bring it out. Your memory is extremely powerful. It has the ability to bring the exact images, the words that you're scared of, everything comes up. You bring that image, and now when I'm saying this itself, you might be remembering some kind of images in your own mind when I'm saying this. So you bring it out. You bring this out and then you focus. So first is you associate with the feeling. Association means you are like, okay, they are talking to me. I have done something wrong. They are teasing me. I am being the target. The spotlight is on me. So that is association. Now the next step that you can do is take a step out of yourself. Okay, second person perspective. Take a step out and then see yourself. Immediately you will be able to visualize a scene. You can see yourself standing or whatever the scene is you're seeing that. You can see the others talking to you. and you can you can see your emotions changing. It's like a mini movie that is playing in your head, right? Either it is a mini movie, or it is a particular picture, or it is just the words that people used. Like for example, since ye to kya kar rahe hai, and all those kind of things that people have said, that is keeping on coming onto you. So you took the second person perspective. Next is third person, second person perspective, and then next what you have to do is take this thought and dim the light of that memory. Just dim the light.
Okay.
Dim it. The moment when I'm saying this, you can see that you're immediately the particular memory is becoming a little more dimmer, because the main problem right now is so long we have taken that memory and we have given it like hyper brightness. The moment you think about it, it is just coming onto you and you're not able to deal with it. But now what I'm telling you is that think about it, dim it out. Dim it out, and if people are speaking, mute it. Like slowly reduce the volume. If you are not able to do that, give it baby voice, like baby voice, gaga goo goo, give it baby voices, or make it extremely funny, make it a chipmunk voice. And the moment I'm telling you this, you will be able to notice that particular memory, the effect of that memory is changing in you. Okay, it is slowly changing. Like the moment you're thinking, like the voice is changing, the scene is changing, it is becoming dimmer. And next thing, what I Okay, hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can see you.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so next thing what I would like you to do is like poke a hole into the memory. Okay, now you have this image, you have dimmed it, you have reduced the volume, poke a hole into the memory, and think about a memory that you loved the most, where you got praised the most, something that the first time you were felt proud of yourself, and think about that particular memory. And now imagine that this particular memory is coming through that hole of that memory, and this is overlapping this particular memory. Okay, you're overlapping this memory, and just give it a bit time, and you do this every time you might be forcing yourself. If you have to force yourself, no problem. Go back to the negative memory again, dim it again, change it, keep altering it, and surprisingly, you will notice that a particular memory won't have that much impact anymore. Every time you're like, okay, that day, and then when you'll be like, that day, you're like, what is wrong with me? Why am I still thinking about that day? That day was just a random memory. So this is the power of neuro-linguistic programming. Like there are so many methods that you could use and alter your own thoughts, which will help you.
So a very nice explanation, Varsha, I must say. So we have few people over here. I could see a question. So there is Learners for Life who asked NLP how it works. So would you like to answer it for her?
Sure, definitely. Now, as I said, our thoughts are basically our language. Okay, at the beginning, when we are first born, we do not know language, so it is just all visual and auditory and all those things that is entering our head. And we are just dividing, okay, this particular sound means my mother, this particular picture is my mother, this is the person that hurt me. You're just dividing it. But once language comes into control, you are getting control of your thoughts. When you're kids, you're just taking everything. But then, and also your brain is automatically shifting it. Safe, not safe, safe, not safe, safe, not safe. Just dividing. So in neuro-linguistic programming, what happens is that you use your language, and then since language is the most powerful thing, now since you can control your thoughts, you use your language, and then what you do is you control your mind, and that is the most important thing. The thing is, for example, now another technique that I would like to tell is, I'm telling you different techniques because I think the techniques will explain better than me explaining myself.
Yes.
So yes, this particular technique.
The technique which you told before, that auditory switch and visual switch, was quite explainable. So
exactly.
I guess that is more easy to explain.
Yeah, so I'll use another technique now. For example, NLP. Now NLP is a very good thing for making yourself the way you want yourself to be. Okay. Now when I say that, what do you want to be, or what do you want to be, you will have an answer. If you don't have an answer, the answer is simple. Think about all the times when you were proud of yourself, when you were happy, you did something great, and then you will get an idea. Write all those memories down. Write about what are the similarities of that memory, and then you will get a basic feedback about what is it that you want to be. What you want to be is what makes you happy. Okay, so you get that answer. So now when I'm talking about this, there is this image where where there's a technique called spotlight technique. Okay, there are different NLP practitioners give a different name. So I'm saying this is spotlight technique. It is where you imagine yourself, again, you're imagining yourself about, think about yourself the time when you were extremely proud of yourself. For example, maybe since you are a counselor, you might remember about a successful counseling that you did, where you were appreciated. People were glad that they could talk to you. And you think about that situation. Imagine, get yourself into that particular memory. Think about how you felt at that moment. The feeling, the happiness, your emotions that is going through you, your bodily feelings that you have. Think about all those things. And then imagine that a circle is the spotlight. A spotlight has come in front of you. Get into that spotlight. Drop all that feelings into the spotlight. Okay. Now do the same thing. This is not something that you can establish in one day, but then every single time you remember something like that, remember this particular spotlight appearing and think about all the memories, drop it there. The next time when you feel like you are becoming depressed or sad, bring that spotlight, get into the spotlight, stay there. Okay. Now, if you're someone who has difficulty in imagining a spotlight, another easy technique would be anchor. You might be familiar with that term called anchor, right? Anchor is something that reminds you of something else. Like, for example, a perfume that will remind you of your dad or a particular. So now every time you feel like you're doing something good, do something that you don't usually do. For example, again, non-dominant hand, take your thumb and maybe rub it on the middle finger like this. Okay, every time you do something like that, do that. So your brain is getting the signal that whenever you're doing this, it means something happy has happened. So what happens is you have trained your brain in such a way that when you do this, you have to become happy. So now when you're in a situation where you're lacking confidence, you do that and naturally
this
happens.
you'll be happy.
Happy or confidence, like whatever you're working on,
Yes.
that will happen. So
Great, Varsha. I'm really, liking this session already. So Varsha, tell me how, how we can overcome procrastination with the help of NLP.
okay, that is a good question. That is actually something that everyone has a problem with. Now,
Because, it's even with me, I procrastinate all the time. Sometimes I have a deadline, like nobody is standing on my head to complete my video or upload it or do anything of that sort. But still, I become so lazy sometimes and I don't want to upload anything. I don't know what happens sometimes. So how can we, overcome this feeling or overcome procrastination through NLP?
okay. Now, this is something that I personally suffered. As you already know, that I'm also someone who's working on YouTube and Instagram and all those things. And
sometimes it is so disappointing that you're not getting subscribers, not getting comments, not getting views, and with that disappointment, you don't want to upload. But still, you have that feeling, no, I have to do it. Then you delay it and, it all piles up in your head. So I want to know how can we overcome it?
okay, so first thing that I would like to suggest is that first understand why are you procrastinating. Okay, you might have never asked the question, but then it's a very simple question. Why are you procrastinating? One thing might be that you're not familiar with the thing that you're doing. Okay, now for example, suppose if this live did not have a particular date, since you already told me date, suppose you didn't have a date and you'd be like, let's do it at some other time. What I'll do is I'll keep postponing it to infinity. I'll be like, let's do it later, let's do it later, let's do it later. Because I'm not familiar with the whole concept of live. That is one thing. And second thing is the fear of failure. What if what we do becomes a mess and what if we become a failure? Okay, so the first step is to understand what reason is creating your procrastination. Okay, now if it is the fear of unfamiliarity, then what you can do is try to become familiar with it. Now, since you gave me a very good opportunity to come live around 5 minutes earlier to do it, so I became familiar with it, and then I was like, okay, this is not that complicated. I can do it. And one thing is do that. Second thing is fear of failure. I recently spoke about this to a friend of mine. He said that he doesn't like himself because of all the failures that he has gone through. I told a very simple thing, that is, convert the word called failure into feedback. Very simple.
Okay.
It's a very obvious thing, but then we are not aware of it. Like the moment you convert your word called failure to feedback, that is, okay, this failed. What should I do next? What should I do next? Okay, you'll try different methods. Okay, that's what every single researcher or everyone does. You'll try different methods, and you can do that. Okay, and for all this, what you'll have to do is you'll have to make your mind itself work in a way in which you're curious about things. Okay, curiosity itself is an interesting emotion, right? Have you thought about it? The emotion called curiosity. Yes. When you're extremely curious about something, you don't think about anything else. Like, for example, something amazing is going to happen the next day. Okay, you're going to meet a celebrity. So your whole mind is full of, you're curious, like, how will it feel? How will that happen? At that moment, your thought isn't like, okay, what if the rice over there is you're boiling the rice and something is happening, or something. What if I'm not paying attention properly? What if bills I haven't paid? You're not thinking about the bills or your work or anything. You're just extremely curious to meet this particular person. So the best thing that you can do is first understand why. First question, understand yourself. Why are you doing it? Second is change your mindset to curiosity. Curious about everything. So every single day you wake up like a small child. You wake up and you're like, oh my God, today I'm going to post this particular video. I wonder how it will look like. Okay, you may get good feedbacks. Good. You may get negative feedback. If you get negative feedback, okay, something went wrong. What is it that I can change? You'll search. Okay, maybe it is the thumbnail. Maybe it is a title. Maybe it is someone. So you'll definitely look at all the other people who are doing it properly, and then you'll learn. And then again, you'll try something. You'll keep on trying till you get the actual output. Okay. So then the next thing is what I told you earlier. Go to the first memory where you started procrastinating. Okay. So you go to the memory and work on that too. Remove that memory, because at that particular time, again, some particular fear or something, that is how you started it in the first place. A kid, it doesn't postpone to infinity at the beginning. At some point, the kid starts. Because that curiosity, the curiosity of your mind reduces, and you are fully driven by fear. Okay, and first, if you want a scientific reason for why we have this fear, it is because of our brain part called amygdala. You might be familiar with it. Okay, the purpose of amygdala itself is to ensure that we are safe. Okay, it was designed in such a way that it is designed for the time when we were living as forest people, where we were hunting, and where we have to make sure that we are in a good position with the society so that we are safe. But this particular thing does it even now. Okay, it is always ensuring that we are safe. It instigates the fight or flight response. Like, can you face it, or do you have to run away? And sometimes what happens is that it becomes so pressurized, like, I can't do it. Run. This is embarrassing. If it is embarrassing, then you won't be able to show your face again. You're in trouble. But we are not living in that society anymore where we have to be scared about that. We don't need to run away. We have to just keep on working more and more and more, and then we'll naturally achieve what we want to have.
Actually, today's generation is like this. They face more failures, but they get up again, and they try, and then they succeed at one point of time.
Exactly.
And some of them who doesn't have this much self-esteem or confidence to get up back again, they might even lose in life.
It is two extremes. Either you are like really, really active, or you'll just feel like I'm a hopeless person and then go completely into depression state.
I guess resilience plays a lot of role in this, right?
Could you repeat?
Resilience plays a lot of role in this, right?
Yeah.
So we have two questions I would like you to answer. So first is this is Avasthi is asking, how to implement NLP in daily life?
How to implement NLP in daily life? First is that find your purpose. Okay. You might be like sure that every day when you wake up, the first person that you talk to is yourself. It's not anybody else. It's you. The moment you wake up, you open your eyes, you're like, what time is it? first your brain immediately starts talking. You're talking to yourself the most. Okay. So how to implement NLP is that a lot of people do not have a particular goal. So always make sure that you have a goal. Consider goal to be a dream with a deadline. Okay, always have a goal. Now, how do you understand, like, how do you create a goal is, first is, that I've written down these questions, actually. There are these 6 questions that you can work on. First is, what specifically do you want? Understand what is this specifically do you want? You're waking up every day, and every day if you're going through the same cycle, the same repeated cycle, it is pretty boring. But then every day wake up and ask yourself, what is it that you specifically want? First question. Now, how will you know when you have it? Like, how will you know? Suppose, for example, I'm waking up a day and I'm like, I want to become a very famous NLP practitioner. And next question is, how will I know when I have it? I'm like, okay, when I have these many particular clients and these many followers and these many subscribers, that is when I will know that I have it. Okay. Next is, what stops you from having it? Like, what is it that is stopping me from having it? The fear. Or in my case, it is my fear. The fear of failure. What if I end up not reaching anywhere? Okay. Then you can think about what are the resources that you need for having it. Suppose if you already have the resources, good. Or if you don't have, like, for example, if I want to be a YouTuber, I'm thinking about what are the different things that I don't have that I will need. I'll work on that. And then under what circumstances, like with whom do I want to share this particular feeling with whom? Like if I want my family to know that I'm becoming successful and I want to have these clients with me, I want to be able to do a good thing for the society, and you're thinking about all these things. And then the last question is, how are you going to get there? Okay. So once you have all these things in your mind, that is when you will understand when to apply NLP. Okay. And then once you have these questions, you have this idea, okay, what is it that you want? You got the goal. NLP are the steps that you can take to reach the goal. So you got the goal, you work on what are the things that you want, and then you fix. Okay, I have been focusing a lot on this. Change my thought. I'm becoming negative here. Change it to positive. Do the auditory switch, do the visual switch, change it. And one of the biggest problem about NLP is that it happens gradually. It is not like one fine day you just do this and tada, it's not like magic. It's just like psychology, just like counseling, just like everything else. It takes time. It is something that takes gradually. But people always misunderstand, like as a counselor, people always misunderstand that, we counselors are someone like, car mechanics. You bring yourself there, we'll repair you completely, and then we'll send you. It just happens in one day. NLP is also something that doesn't happen like in one single day, but it happens gradually. So that
gradually. Everything takes time. I think everything takes time. Whenever we counsel people, so people expect that in one sitting some magic will happen and they will forget all the things. They will come out of depression. They will forget their anxiety. But no, these things take time. Some things, things which you have nurtured for so many years in your life, how can you leave it in one day?
Exactly.
Everything takes time, and if you want to completely change your self and adopt such things in your lifestyle, it will take time. People need to understand that our brain has been conditioned in such a way that negative things overpowers always. But we have to change that, and that will happen over time.
Exactly. And also when we are talking about change, it is like an example that is okay. Now take for example, you are getting into a taxi. Okay, the taxi driver can take you. Imagine you're telling a taxi driver where you don't want to go. You're telling the taxi driver where you don't want to go. Okay, you're not telling the driver where you want to go, but you're telling the driver where you don't want to go. How will the driver be able to function? Like he'll just stand there like, what am I supposed to do? You told me where you don't want to go. Okay, fine, don't go. Simple. That is one of the main problems with the clients that I personally notice. Like they always come and they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. They're telling all the don'ts, but simple question, what is it that you want? What is the change that you want?
Yes.
Like every person wants to change differently. Like some people feel like they're talking too much. They feel like they want to be a little more reserved. Some people feel like they are more reserved, they want to talk more. And that is, every single person is just like how you said, people are working on negatives, what they don't want, but nobody is working on their positives.
Yes.
And when they start working on the positive, and when that is when, as counselors or NLP practitioners too, we'll be able to understand and guide them properly. Right?
Yes.
You might have experienced it.
Yes, I have a lot. So we have one more question, Varsha. This is Anuvind. He or she, whoever.
It's my student.
I don't know. Oh, okay. So they're saying, "Hi, Miss. I referred the word NLP on Google, and I found on the site that NLP is stated as pseudoscience or a kind of trick. And I would like to know your response on this."
Okay. So I did see the question. Now, I kind of answered the question at the beginning, but then I'll definitely answer it again. Because NLP...
It is a pseudoscience. Please do it.
It is actually something that doesn't have a scientific evidence yet. Okay, it's similar to people saying that hypnosis is a pseudoscience, or meditation. Meditation itself is a pseudoscience, because you don't have a particular, you don't have scientific evidence to it, but then it does work. Okay, and to know that, you have to imply it. Only with experience you will know what is the best thing that is for you and what is not the best thing for you.
Yes, definitely. So, Varsha, quite insightful live session we had today, and I'm really very happy. The kind of things I've learned about NLP, I was really very curious when I read this NLP practitioner in people's bio, and I was very curious about what all is NLP, how we can apply it in our life, how we can achieve so many things with it. So, you have cleared almost all my doubts about it, and I think real soon I will take up a course on this and apply it in my life too.
Definitely.
Right? So, we'll definitely contact you if I need any help.
Sure, feel free. Everyone do feel free to contact me, because I love sharing things that I already know.
So, okay. So I would like let people know that I will save this live on my IGTV if anybody wants to watch it again. So there is no issue if you have missed the live. People, if anybody have any questions regarding NLP, and you can shoot it so we can answer it here. People are also liking this session a lot, I must say. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you.
So, theoretically, everybody can talk, but having so much knowledge about it and applying it on yourself to improve your life and achieving success is something which not a lot people can do, and I guess you are one who have achieved that through NLP.
Exactly, because naturally, you're the example of what you promote, right? We always say that we are the example of what we promote. So whatever you're learning, the first thing that you have to do is you have to apply it on yourself and check whether you know what you're doing, and then go ahead. And when we learned psychology, definitely we first implemented that in ourselves, and that is when you go forward. And
yes. So, okay, Varsha, I guess it's quite time. Yes. So, thank you so much, Varsha, for joining me today for this live session. We had a great session today, and I would like to inform all of you that it will be uploaded on my IGTV, and you can go and watch it if you have missed the live in case. And so, thank you so much, Varsha.
Thank you so much, the amazing experience. I really enjoyed it. I didn't even know the way the time went. So, thank you so much.
It was a great session. Thank you so much, Varsha.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you, everyone.